Welcome to season 4 of the Be Your Own Kind podcast. I am so excited to share some new ideas and experiences with you and also introduce some more wonderful and fantastic people on the platform. Be sure to visit our site, www.beyourownkind.com, to be able to keep up with the latest news and the latest blogs and content. Also, we have a Facebook community that involves giveaways, touch base, and exclusive deals. If you like the content, be sure to tip your girl a matcha tea on Ko-fi, located at ko-fi.com/beyourownkind24. Thanks again for your continued support and enjoy the episode. Well, hi, Suzanne. How are you doing?
I am fantastic. How are you, Renita?
I am doing well. I'm doing much better, as I said before I hit record. I was a little under the weather with COVID, but I'm just happy to be able to just speak because that was the main thing. And just thanking you for taking out the time to be on our platform today. So I really do appreciate it.
No problem. I'm glad you're doing better. God is good, isn't he?
Yes, all the time. Because I know some people that did not make it this far. So I'm very grateful. Very grateful.
Quite a bit. Well, glad to see you're up and at it. So, all right, I'm excited to be on the show.
Yes. So I read a little bit about you, and oh my God, you wear 1,000 hats. Like you are a business consultant, podcaster, author, life coach. You're a minister and an HR manager.
Yeah. One or two things.
You're all modest. You like, yeah, I dibble and dabble, but yeah, that is a lot of hats. And what it all have in common, what I love about it is you're pouring into others and helping them become their best self. And I love that. But I'm just wondering, like, through all of that pouring, when do you find the time to pour back into yourself, or how do you practice self-care in the midst of that?
All right, girl. So now you're speaking my language because you do a lot, but one of the things I'm always conscious of is taking care of me. And, I do have to just point out that I am no longer an HR manager because a few months ago, I was on the corporate track. I was doing it for a while, but a few months ago, I made the decision to step out of that world and become an entrepreneur. And, because that was my side hustle. I did it on the side. So I am full 100% an entrepreneur now. I go out, I promote my own brand, the Positively Suzanne brand. I'm open, so I'm able to take more clients, more coaching clients. I'm able to do more conferences where I go to different conferences and speak as a motivational speaker. I do more workshops, things like that. So one of the things that I do, and that's actually how I practice self-care. So I always believe that you cannot pour from an empty cup. And my pastor always says that, it's like, there's a time for seed time and harvest time. And I practice that mentality with myself. Yeah, I'm a minister, so that's going to come out. So there is times that I'm constantly pouring into me, but I truly feel very blessed in terms of, I do have a lot. I was blessed with a lot and I'm able to give back. And a lot of times folk thinks that when you give back, it's material things. No, pouring into somebody and encouraging them, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and all those other things are so important. It's just as important to me as material things when you give that to someone, because girl, sometimes you need money. If you need gas money, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna pray, lay your hands and pray on you. Girl, I got skills, but I don't know if that car's gonna move. So
right. Especially now.
Girl, I'm telling you. So, I've always been cognizant of that fact, not to take so much from myself. So one of the things, I've always been obsessed with tea. I love tea. I'm not a coffee drinker. So I've always done tea parties for myself. And actually, I branched out the 10th of this month and I actually threw a large tea party, sold tickets, folks showed up, and just it was fun. Yeah, check out my website. The pictures are on there. Just women showed up. They bought their ticket. They came. It was an afternoon of they drank tea. They networked. We repeated affirmations. We dressed in fabulous fashions and things like that. So that was large scale, but I do that for myself personally. I'm consistent. I am intentional about my self-care. I choose time that it's just me and a book, and I'm curled up and I'm drinking tea and reading a book, or whether I'm, reading the word or something like that. So I've just always been very intentional about self-care. I didn't realize it was a good thing. I just thought that was, because back in the day that was considered selfish, right?
Right.
Choosing time for yourself. But I've always just been very cognizant of the fact that if I'm constantly giving, like, sooner or later, there's going to be nothing left to give. So I take care of me, girl. I really do.
I love that. It sounds like when you're pouring a reserve, not your, I don't know how to put it, but like your overflow goes to everyone else, but you make sure that you stay full at all times.
Always. And, and I'm not saying that there's not times that I'm a little down, and things like that. So I'm conscious of the folks around me. I surround myself with positive people. I try not to do drama and negativity because it's draining. Mm-hmm. My husband is just phenomenal. Like he's my biggest cheerleader. I'm not going to lie. He helps me out in terms of if I'm down or anything else, but it's not that I'm rarely down, but I can always try to find the silver lining. I always try to find the silver lining. And even the days that I'm down, I'm just like, I know something good is going to come. So I'll just curl up with a cup of tea and just read a book till, I'm back to 100% Suzanne.
I love that. I love the fact that you give yourself a chance to recharge. I love that. I really do. And I love that you mentioned the importance of having a support system, because sometimes I feel like you're as strong or as weak as your support system. So if you have people that are genuine about you, that don't play about you just as much as you don't play about you, that helps a little bit more too.
Yeah, no, it does. And, and one of the things I've always, I said to my client, it's not, I don't want you to think that I'm the superwoman. I'm genuinely not. I'm a human being, but one thing I'm consistent on is taking care of myself. And like when you take care of yourself and not selfishly, because like everybody deserves to be taken care of. And if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't believe that you deserve to be, that have the best and to be taken care of, nobody else is going to give that to you. So you have to start with you. I did a workshop the other day, one of the things I talked about, I said, talk to yourself as you would somebody you love. And I didn't coin that. I know other folks have said it, but I'm like, when we are dealing with someone and we say to them, you need to get rest, you got to take care of yourself and all of that, but you don't have that same conversation with yourself. And how am I coaching you to be better being you and to, fulfill yourself if I'm not doing that?
True.
So
that is true.
It is. So, like I have to be living proof of my method. And I'm very consistent about that. Like I use the word consistent and intentional and, things like that. And, it could be back in the days when I used to watch soap operas, my General Hospitals, my One Life to Live. So, just told my age.
One life to live. I gotta do this right.
Exactly. So, I'm like, I don't know. I don't want anybody to think that I have it all figured out. But what I have figured out is that if you don't take care of you, if you don't put on your oxygen mask on first, you will not be able to take care of anybody else. It's as simple as that. And once you figure that out, it gets a little easier for you to practice self-care.
Yeah, that's true wisdom. Thanks for sharing it. Because we feel like if I'm going, I always tell people, I'm like, there's a difference between movement and progress.
Mm-hmm.
You be doing all this stuff, but you're just on a conveyor belt. You're not making progress. You're just busy for the sake of being busy. Exactly. And sometimes progress is sitting down, like you said, drinking some tea, reading a book, recharging your mind and your creativity, just to get those ideas, because you could be moving so much and you could be missing the mark because you're not taking that time to just be still.
Yeah, no, you're right. Look at you dropping wisdom, girls. No, I completely agree. And, oftentimes, like I said, folks sometimes will think of, it being selfish to prioritize self-care. I was having a conversation with an individual the other day, and I said, so what do you do? They were talking to me about being overwhelmed, and I said, what do you do to practice self-care? And they're like, well, I take a shower. And I'm like, well, I hope you take a shower, but that is not self-care. We've got to stop that. You deserve to take a shower. Like, the people around you deserve you to take a shower. So
yes, please take a shower.
Please take a shower, especially in this heat. But that is not self-care. I am like, it's not. But we think that, like, okay, using the bathroom alone when you have kids is like, that's a form of self-care. It is not. Like, those are things you deserve, and it rarely happens. But self-care is that time that you single out for you. It doesn't have to be expensive. Yeah, I would love it to be a spa in Paris, but girl, that ain't happening. So I carve out my time, and my husband and everybody around me understand that it's my time, and they respect that, because if you have boundaries and folks know, you get to do you. It's not always easy, but like I said, being intentional and consistent, those are things that truly helps.
I love that. So you mentioned earlier that you were in the corporate world and you were like, no. You care sharing your transition out of the corporate realm?
Okay, so it's and it wasn't like one day, but I was in it for over 20 years, right? So literally, I just told my age, and I mean, I do look 21, but
you look fabulous.
Thank you, darling. But no, I started in retail, oh my goodness, so many years ago, and I've certainly moved up the ranks. I've been in different roles. I've been district manager, operational, customer service, and just so many different ventures and branches that I've done, and HR and all of that. And I loved it. And I felt that I was very good at my job, and I felt that I was promoted. But over the past couple of years, I went back to school. So quick segue here, talk about being busy. I decided to go back to school to get my degree, because after high school, I'm young, I'm fabulous. I was going to be the next Naomi Campbell, right? So I took a year off school, which turned into 20. So I decided to go back to school to pursue my degree. And at the time I had 2 young kids. My husband and my dad was living with me at the time. My dad got sick. My husband got sick. I have 2 kids. I'm working full time, and I'm going back to school. Yeah, that was a fun time. So talk about being busy. But I was so diligent with taking time for me at that point, because it's I know folks was like, how's her husband in the hospital and she's having a tea party by herself? Because I needed that. So I was consistent with that. So I did that, and continued to grow. And I graduated a few years ago with dual masters, one in business and one in organizational leadership.
Congrats.
Well, thank you, darling. But along that line, I really truly fell in love with HR, because while I was working in retail, I've done a lot of HR. I've had HR roles and things like that, but I really wanted to go into HR. And I actually tried to go into HR with my own company that I was with. And, it was some challenges, because, you have to go from A to B. You can't jump from B to C. And, I did a program with them and things like that, but I was really passionate about what I wanted. And, I didn't see any movement there. I chatted with a couple different companies, and in the end, ended up getting some offers, revamped my resume, and got some offers. And I remember one lowball offer, and I'm thinking to myself, what, really? No. And I said to my husband, I really need to sit down and really map out what I want. And is this what I want? And I said, I've always been an entrepreneur on the side, and I am here. I have over 20 odd years of experience in leadership. I have dual masters. I have a wealth of knowledge and experience, and I have spent my personal expertise building somebody else's brand. What if I decided to build my own brand? Might not be the next Amazon, but I'm going to build it for me and for my kids. And had some additional conversation, did some interview, just wanted to make sure that it was possible to get the salary that I had desired. And it became possible. And then I was able to walk away. I was very strategic because I was like, okay, Suzanne, you know, like, are you going towards this because you didn't get this? Or is it because you truly want this? And I did everything I can to go the corporate route. And then I said, okay, now I'm good. I am happy. I can go out and become an entrepreneur, you know, on my own. It wasn't an easy decision because it was comfortable. It was something that I knew. It was a guaranteed paycheck. And like I said, I got several offers where the paycheck was really nice. But ultimately it wasn't that. It really boiled down to quality of life, the legacy that I wanted to leave behind, and truly what I wanted for myself. And I'm like, you know what? Now is the time to try. COVID taught us, like, listen, get creative, do what you got to do. And, you know, I did it. So I launched my brand in 2018, and I did a little things on the side and things like that. And I was like, you know what, once I started to write for that, I started to do like vendor events. I went to events and sell my merchandise. I went to different events and I spoke. I was I did workshops. I hosted that tea party and things like that. And I'm loving it. But of course, you know me, I had to add something else to the mix, right? So I became a mortgage loan officer. I did, you know, because I always like to help people. I really truly believe that my gift, my passion is really helping people realize the best versions of themselves and to realize that they had it in them all along. And so, but everything I do and every path that God has put me on is geared towards helping people. So I was looking at different things that I could do that, you know, I'd have autonomy, I would have flexibility and still help people and still make money, girl. And it's not everything, but it's important.
Right.
So I have a best friend who's a realtor, and she's been bugging me for 5 years, and the time wasn't right. And I looked into it. I took the courses, took the test. Lord, that test was hard. And, you know, passed it and reached out to a company and said, you know, hey, this is my goal. You know, this is what I'm looking for. You know, because you can't just become a mortgage loan officer and work for yourself. You have to have a corporation that sponsors you. And I found this great company, and, you know, they said yes. And, you know, here I am. So I'm just thinking, what better way is it than, you know, to help somebody buy their own home?
Right. This intentionality is everything in this conversation. Like, it's not like you wake up and say, I'm gonna be a painter, I'm gonna be a rabbit. I can't think of nothing else. And it's like anything that you choose to do, it's intentional. It has a reason. It's not haphazard living, but it's an intentional, fulfilled life that aligns with your purpose. And I think that is just super incredible.
No, thank you, darling. God is intentional with me. So I really, truly try to be intentional with the things that he has given me. Mm-hmm. And, you know, once my pastor said to me, and I mean, he got it from the Bible, that my gifts will bring me in front of great men. And I do believe that my gifts has exposed me to so many people. But for me, great men is not just, you know, I almost called the name. I'm not going to say that, like the Barack Obama, but you know, I think it's just everyday people, because there's such greatness in people. Like, I can talk to anybody, and I'm sitting on the bus or the train or whatever it is, I'm gonna have a conversation, and I'm leaving. I know your life story, and you're like, I didn't need to tell her all that, but it's just, I genuinely like people, and I think lots of folk don't. So my gift, lots of folks don't like people. God, come on, you know this. So I think my gifts has put me in front of great people. And, you know, it all comes back to just wanting to help people. It comes back to who I am, like what God has put me on this earth for. And it's to help others. And however I do, whatever I do, it helps people. And that's what I'm passionate about.
And I can tell just by how you're talking about it, how passionate you are just to make a difference in somebody's life and make an impact. And that's truly a blessing, because you are right. There are a lot of people that don't like people or don't have time for people, or they don't measure a man by their greatness, but of their title. And I feel like that's more than what God did, because Jesus talked to everybody. You know,
He did.
He talked to everybody. So who are we ever to be in a position where we think we're greater than someone because we are looking at their life compared to ours? And you'll be shocked what people have been through and what wisdom they can share with you if you just humble yourself.
Yeah, one of the things, I think one of the things we have to tell ourselves as humans, we always have to be open to learning and to learn from anyone and everyone, because just because somebody has a fancy title doesn't mean they're the smartest. I have met people with fancy titles who are not the smartest. And I've met people with no titles who will drop some knowledge on you, you shiver. So I try not to prejudge. And the thing is, and one of the things I have to be mindful of, I am very confident. So I'm glad that I'm friendly, because folks will prejudge you because you're confident in who you are. And I'm confident in the abilities that God's given me. I'm not going to be shy about it, but confidence sometimes, like, it can be intimidating to folks, and sometimes folks are afraid to approach you because they're like, yeah, no, she has too much, or I never want somebody to look at me and says I can't approach. So when I enter into a room, I might walk in like I own it, but I'm gonna talk to everybody and anybody in there, and not just the fancy title holders. I'm like, girl, what's up? Oh, that's a cute skirt. Because I'm like, I want them to feel included.
Right.
So that's important to me. So I have met some people with fancy titles that are miserable and unhappy. So fancy titles are nice. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't sneeze tomorrow if Biden appoints me like secretary or something, but
but that don't mean you'll be impressed.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm still gonna be me. I'm still gonna have conversations like with people. I'm still gonna go in and just be me. And I think that's just one of the best things you can do for folks, is just be you and let them feel included.
I love that. That's what we're all about. Be your own kind. Be you, because it's nothing greater than you. I always say that you're the most fantastic person you will ever come across, because no one's gonna know you better than you. No one should know how awesome you are more than you ever. That's just how I feel.
Exactly. And folks are, like I said, folks are gonna prejudge you, and they're gonna make assumptions. And at the end of the day, you can't make somebody believe the truth if they're determined to believe the lie. So as long as you're authentically you, and you're genuine in what you do, and you know that this is who I am. I'm Renita. I am not trying to be this or whatever. I am just me. And if folks truly want to accept that and believe that, they're going to. But if folks want to accept and believe something different, you can't fight a rumor. It's one of the hardest things to fight, because if they're determined to believe the lie, they're determined to believe the lie. Let them. Just still live your life authentic to you. Like, you cannot worry about it.
I love that. Wow. You just spoke a word to me, didn't even know it, maybe.
Oh my goodness.
But that is important, because I feel like part of the struggle, which was one of my questions, we get totally away from the questions.
Is that right?
One of my questions was like, what do you think are the largest barriers from people living their own lives? And I think that's part of it, the narrative that they're trying to force upon people about them. But it's like, everyone's not going to see you for who you are, and I think that kind of answered that question a little bit.
No, you're absolutely right. Honestly, I think one of the biggest thing that keeps us back from being who we are, it's because we're afraid of judgment. We're afraid of what other people will say. And it's like, what are they going to say if I wear this dress? What are they going to say if I wear this pants? What are they going to say if I laugh at this joke? And, I think that goodness is subjective. I truly believe, and not everybody has faith, but it's important to me to talk about my faith. But I think if you're a genuine good person and you're kind and you're truly doing what you can to live your best lives, and just not even try to bring everybody along with you, but just be good to people that are around you and the people you come in contact with, And if folks can't see that, like, there's nothing you can do about it. So you can't continue to stress out about what they're going to think. Like, well, what are they going to think? Like, that will drive you crazy. And you cannot be authentically you if all you are is worried about what others are going to think. Because they're going to think and they're going to talk, and you're missing out on being you. You're missing out on sharing who you are. You're missing out on pursuing your dreams, on pursuing your goals, and doing something that you want to do because you're afraid of what others are going to think.
And I don't want to say waste of a life, but what waste of time it
is.
Trying to please others instead of just, I don't know, wanting to please God or be happy within yourself.
Exactly. Like, start there. Like, please God, you, because I mean, and social media too. I love social media. I really do. You post on it, but it's also very dangerous because when we look at social media, we see other people's lives, and a lot of times it's lies. I'm not saying folks aren't telling the truth, but we look at other people's lives and we're like, oh, you know, we want to be like, oh, I can't post this picture because this person, you know, always looks, this person's it's not selfie, it's filtered to death. You know, so post your picture. Like, but that's the thing, like, we just start to worry because, like, if we're just by ourselves, we will be confident, but then, you know, we just start to worry about the judgments of others. And then that's truly what holds us back. Like, they're not gonna like, I don't care if you like it. Right. I'll be rocking tutus. Like, folks will sometimes like, listen, when I started doing tutus years ago, like, there was not a lot of folks in tutus, and they're like, you're a grown woman in a tutu. And I said, like, okay. I like tutus. I like tutus, you know, even throwing the tea party. I threw the tea party, and I'm like, you know, if folks buy and come, they come if they, you know, because and it was such a great event, but it was just like, she's throwing a tea party. Or even when I started podcasting, like, somebody like legit said to me, Black folks don't do that. I was like,
we do.
Yes, we do.
Right.
I refuse to place limits on myself. Do not put your limits on me.
I love that.
Yeah, it's not my line, but I use it a lot.
but I like that. I like that. Don't what does I say? Excuse me. Put me in a box on what I like. Like, just let me like what I like. I like tutus, and I also like sequins, and I get to you all the time. I'm called the Supreme. I don't care. The tiniest thing that you see when I walk in.
Listen, they're gonna talk. Might as well give them something to talk about. But no, I am a tutu loving, stiletto wearing, sequin bearing. I love it, and I'm a minister, and you know, it is just like. But everything I do in love.
I love that. You know, we're talking about you, but you have other, like, I had all these questions, but I'm loving the way that we're going with this. And I know that one of the things you wanted to talk about was people being their authentic self. How do you define one becoming their authentic self?
Okay, so in order to become the best authentic self, you have to know what you like. What do you like? And that really comes from self-reflection and I think accountability. And we don't like to reflect sometimes. And I put myself in we because I'm like, you know, I'm human. And we don't like to hold ourselves accountable to things or things like that. But I don't know if it's because of the retail thing, I always like to get to the why. You know, before when we were managers and they would come and says, you know, your store's not making it. Why? You're not making your sales. Why? And I'm like, you know, so I've adopted that in life, you know, like, why do I like this? And because, like, do I like it because this person likes it or not? Like, what makes me laugh out loud? What makes me laugh and spit my food out? Like, you know, and just figuring out what you like and asking yourself why you like it, I think is important, because sometimes we like something and we don't realize why we like it. So all right, so I'm watching movies, and I'm a little bit older than you by a year or two. And there was this movie called Runaway Bride with Julia Roberts years ago. one of my favorite. And I remember there was this particular scene, you know, she kept running away and things like that. And I remember it was like a simple thing of how she liked her eggs. And, you know, it's like she did her eggs based on like the person that she was with. So I think a lot of times we do that. Like, you know, we like something because who we're with or the crowd we're with, that they, you know, they like it. You know, it's trendy and things like that. So I truly like to see if I like something by spending time in it by myself. So if it's a show, like when ER was going on, like everybody, I've never watched an episode of ER. I just couldn't get into it. But it was like the trend, and like everywhere I went at work, everybody was talking about it and do it. And I was just like, I said, I have never watched an episode. I'm like, I just don't like it. And being okay with being the oddball, being okay with being the odd man out, because if you can't figure out why you like something, do you really like it? No.
You don't.
Really reflect on that and ask yourself, do I like it because everybody says I should like it? Do I like it because it's trendy? Do I like it because it's just easier to like it because it gives me a way to go in a conversation? Why not say there's something else that you like? Like, what if nobody else liked it and it's just you and nobody else is having that conversation about it? Then fine. I'm not going to talk about ER because I've never watched an episode. I'm not going to fake the funk.
I like that. Not gonna fake the funk. And that's to be honest with you, that is why I started this platform in the first place, because I spent a lot of my life blending in. Like, if people like this, I would be like, okay, I like this too. And I would legit hate it. Like, you know, just for the simple fact of having company. And then I just realized so much energy was being exerted towards things that I did not like or I didn't care for. But I was always afraid because I've been keeping this facade up. So if I start being my real self, will these same people still rock with me? And it's not their fault, it's my fault because I wasn't authentically myself. You know, luckily I had some friends that held on and was like, oh my God, this is you. I really like, you know, this being you. But I lost some people, but I couldn't get upset about that because they were liking whoever I was pretending to be. They weren't liking who I was. And so I found more comfort and more happiness in just being myself, and who is supposed to rock with me or not rock with me or whatever. It didn't matter, because at the end of the day, I felt comfortable and I could recognize myself in the mirror. And that's what made me start this, to spread the word of it's just okay to be you, to spend your life being you and not attaching on to something just for the sake of not being alone or just for the sake of blending in, if that makes sense.
It does. Now you said something there. I truly love what you just said. And I like the fact that you recognize you did some self-reflection there and accountability, because you said it's not their fault that they didn't know the real you, because you gave them the version of you that you think that they would like.
Right.
So you can't blame them if that's who they like. Now, when you show the real you, and if they choose not to, then bye, Felicia. But otherwise, you know, like, you didn't give them an opportunity to see the real you.
Right.
And if I give you an opportunity to see the real me and you choose to move on, it's okay. You will find your own kind. That's truly what I believe. And I've always tried to be authentic to who I am. I'm 5'11", Black, used to be skinny, not anymore. But used to, so, it was like, I was always different. I love to read. I always enjoyed things that some folks didn't. You know, when I was younger, I would be reading those English romance novels or, things like that. While my friends were reading 17 magazine, I'm like, okay. I mean, I'm good. So not that it wasn't fun to look at the pictures, but it's just like, it just wasn't like a 5-second article on what shade of lip gloss. It just wasn't, what I wanted to read. And it made me different, it made me weird. And, I lost some people like you, but I was okay with that. You have to like your own company. In order to be authentic, though, you have to like your own company, because moments spent alone are priceless. Just moments spent just doing what you do. I loved the tea party that I threw on a large scale, but I love the tea parties that I throw for myself. It's just me, and I dress up in my gloves and my hat, and I sit there, and the kids sometimes take pictures, but it's just me. I'm just sitting there sipping tea and just daydreaming or reading a book. That's who I am. And in order for me to be authentic to who I am, I have to show up every single day. Like, I can't change who I am to fit in. It was difficult at times, working in corporate America. I had to temper who I was. And, I would get, oh, Suzanne, you're so colorful. Oh, Suzanne, you're so creative. The the passive aggressive thing. And, oh, you're just so colorful. And in those spaces, you kind of have to temper. But I was always me. And they knew who I was. Some might not have liked it, but I was just always me, because I always felt that it's hard enough to be yourself, like every single day. Like, for me personally, without faith, I don't know what it will be, because this life is hard. So I thank God that I have faith and I have God.
Yeah.
So I hold on to those things. But it's hard enough being yourself, getting up every day and watching the news and see what's going on. And like, if you're a human being with genuine feelings, these things will impact you and affect you. But now imagine if I had to do this as somebody else. So like, my natural reaction to something, it's natural. It's like, it may not be the right one, but it is natural, right? So
it's yours.
Exactly. So can you imagine if I decided tomorrow I want to be you? So I'm going to have to try to figure out, what would you do and how would you do it? And I don't have that kind of time and energy.
It's exhausting.
It is. Like I said, it's hard enough being yourself with everything that we have to deal with. Trying to imagine going through life being somebody else. Like, I can't. It's exhausting. It's like, I just can't be the phony. And we grew up with the phrase, fake it till you make it. And, with something, I've said it, I used to say till I'm like, what, I'm not faking it, I'm done. But I will tell you that it's not an easy thing to come to sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, because we live in a culture that is determined to tell us who to be, is determined to tell folks that if you don't look a certain way, walk a certain way, talk a certain way, you're not it. I don't want to be it. I want to be me. I never watched that show with Cousin It or something like that. So I'm good. But so I'm on LinkedIn, and I wrote a post the other day, and I got so much feedback, and folks reach out to me. The hardest thing to be is yourself. And the easiest thing to be is yourself. Because it's hard, because everything you do, there's somebody determined to tell you it's not good enough. But it's easy because every reaction you have is yours. It's natural. You don't have to predict it. You don't have to strategize. You don't have to read a book about it. It will be like, how will Suzanne react last night when she saw the Wakanda Forever trailer? Girl was excited. Okay.
See it. When is it coming out?
November 11th.
Oh, okay.
I watched that thing over and over, and I didn't have to think how you're gonna handle it. I knew I was excited. I was already planning my outfit. That's how excited I was.
Nice.
So it's like, it's just easier to be me. I don't have to worry about it or plan it or whatever. And maybe sometimes I react to a situation if it's not the right reaction, but being open to learn, I'll learn. Right. And I just don't want to be anybody else.
And that's powerful. That was powerful. I just got exhausted.
Yeah.
I just got exhausted, and I couldn't keep up with all the narratives.
There you go, girl.
It was just like, because I started off like literally, God was my only friend for a really long time. Like, I used to write him and talk to him. My mom used to be like, "You're just talking to yourself." No, I'm talking to God. And then I met like actual people, and I was just like, oh, this is kind of cool having human beings, and got lost all of that. And then I got older as an adult and was like, this is exhausting. I don't even know who I am anymore, and I just dropped the facade, And so I just be knowing the difference. It just seemed like it was just so exhausting trying to keep up with all of that. And now I can wake up in the morning and be okay with being weird.
Exactly.
Like,
and it's okay.
Weird. Yeah, I'm a little weird, and it's okay to be weird. And I just feel like a lot of people are depressed or committing suicide just for the simple fact that they didn't feel like they belonged.
Exactly.
And I have a problem with that. And that's why I even started the platform to say, hey, you are more than enough for you. You are okay with being you. If you're with a circle that makes you feel uncomfortable, there are a billion people in this world. And I promise you there's a percentage that will accept you just for being you.
Absolutely.
And so that's what you're saying is the word and the reason why I even started this in the first place.
That's awesome. No, that's awesome. I think, people need to feel like they belong, and being weird, it's okay. I think that as Black women, and not everybody who's listening is a Black woman, but for me, my personal experience as a Black woman, the world was stacked against us. It really is. I think now they're like, yeah, rah, rah, celebrate Black women and things like that. But for a very long time as a Black woman, if you spoke up for yourself, you were the angry Black woman, like you were abrasive. I remember once they did this, there was this survey or like some test or assessment, and I came off as dominant. Okay. And, I remember they put the dominant personalities in one side of the room, and it was mostly men. And, it was just funny because I was saying to myself, like, I'm just me. And like, so, but it wasn't everybody, nobody wanted to be dominant. Like the women all wanted to be inquisitive and sweet. And I'm like, I don't want to be, I am. So, it's like, what's wrong with being dominant? So for a long time, they labored like a strong personality as, it's the B word, it's a bad word. And like folks didn't want to be that. So the world was stacked against us. And now, you're rah-rah, we're celebrating Black women, but still, they still do try to place limits on who they think you can be, so they select certain women and this is who you need to be like. So you can still be a Black woman, but be more like this Black woman. Like there's such a plethora and vastness of who we are as a people, and to be put into a box and told like, you need to do this and you need to do that. And, if you don't do this and, it's like natural or straight or braids or, whatever it is, like this world is constantly telling us who we should be. And when you decide who you are, they say you're not good enough. I don't care. So you truly have to decide, am I okay with not everybody liking me? Am I okay with being by myself? You have to learn to be by yourself. You truly do, because there's times that you're going to have to ride alone. Yep. And it's okay. Yep. It's okay.
You speak a word, Suzanne. You speak a word. That is, and normally when I ask questions about authentic self, it's like you have to self-actualize, you have to da-da-da-da, but you speaking this is the foundation, literally, of being authentic, is the questions and the advice that you have been given today. Are you okay when you sometimes gotta rock by yourself? That is important, because that's that thing of, I don't want to be alone. I'm not comfortable with self. And my mom always said, if you're not comfortable with you, don't expect nobody else.
Cheers for your mama, because
she's a big stickler on taking yourself on a date, going to the show. She said, even though you're married, there are still things you should still do by yourself. To keep your identity. So I will go to the show by myself. I will do certain stuff by myself. And my husband does some of his stuff by himself, because at the end of the day, we're one, but we're also individual. And I want us to keep our individuality at all times,
No, absolutely. Yeah. No, your mama is right. And no, kudos to you. You have to. When I was in high school, I remember going to movies by myself. Oh my goodness. Everybody, they thought it was the weirdest thing. But my best friend at the time talked through movies. Like, I could not get Like, I couldn't hear it. She's like, oh, what happened? Who's that? You're right beside me. You saw who came in the room. I don't know. I'm like, it was just, I couldn't. Love going by myself, but then after going with her, and I was like, girl, I ain't going with you. So, no, she talked.
I'm that friend. I was talking to her.
You're that friend? Oh my God. So I am not going to the movies with you. I was like, girl, let me listen. So, but and then God help us if there's a joke, because she would laugh for 5 minutes. And I'm like, so no, I'm good. So I loved going to the movies by myself, but folks thought that was weird. But you know, it was just like, I was okay. I don't know. I don't know. I've just always been okay with being by myself, and I enjoyed being by myself. And you know, one of the things I tell my client is like, being alone is not lonely. Mm-hmm. You have to learn to enjoy your company. Start small. 5-10 minutes, read a book, do nothing, stare at the water, gaze at the sky. But whatever it is you do, learn to spend time with yourself and just be. I have my kids, I spend time with them. We just got back from vacation, but I spend time by myself. I have my husband, he knows, spend time by myself. And you know, one of the things that you had mentioned, and I'll come back to it because I love it so much, you didn't let them know who you are. And I've always been intentional in letting folks know who I am, because like in the beginning, my husband knew this, because I'm like, if he gets upset at me spending time by myself, honey, it's been 20 odd years. Like, it wasn't a secret. Like, I was very open with that because it's important to me. And me being my best is better for those around me. So even if you want to look at it like that, to say like, you know, you being your best is good for you, but it's also good for the people around you. Can you imagine how much more you are when you are fully you, like when you're rested and rejuvenated and relaxed? You could be the best wife, daughter, mother, friend, sister, whatever it is. But when you're feeling defeated and depleted, like you just have nothing left to give, you just don't even want to be around people. And that's the dangerous time to be by yourself.
Yeah.
So don't see being by yourself as a form of punishment. It's a reward to spend time with you because you're awesome. And that's just how I see it. I like me. I like hanging out with me. And I could watch my shows, my weird shows, without judgment or without anybody talking, you know, and just be me.
I love that. And you are right. I feel like I am a better person. And I feel like I'm able to, without the hiding who I am, you know, I feel like my relationships have improved because now I can say, because I used to didn't even express how I felt. I can say, yeah, I never liked that. I don't like when you do that either. Like, I don't like when you know, everybody like, be quiet, but when I got with myself, I'm just like, okay, there are certain things I just gotta stop accepting.
Mm-hmm.
This has to stop, and this has to stop now. And I sleep better knowing that in the end of the day, did you express yourself, especially like how you felt? Were you yourself? Were you your authentic self every day? And if I can recognize myself in the mirror every night, I sleep well.
That's good. Oh, girl,
yeah.
that is awesome. You know, like, it's exhausting. Like,
it is.
Time is precious. Like, can you imagine? Like, I don't want to spend time doing something I don't like. No. You know? Like, it's not worth it. Like, and I'll say this, and there's a particular person, a family member of mine, that will get invited to somewhere and don't like the people that's there, but would go. And I'm like, why subject yourself to that? And right. I'm not saying don't go around not liking people, but I'm just saying, like, if you know that when you go somewhere, the energy, the atmosphere is just going to be negative and draining, why are you going?
Why
say
put
no.
yourself, right? Why put yourself in that situation?
Why put yourself?
Just for the sake of going, and so people could say you came, but you could have been doing something else better with your time.
Something that you like. something that you enjoy. Yeah, no, I learned how to say no. You have to. Like, you have to. You can't do everything. You can't be everywhere. You can't be everything for everyone. It's just, it's too much. And like, love yourself. Love yourself enough to say no. Like, love yourself enough to say, I'm all right. I don't want to go to that weird party. So
I'm cool.
Like, I'm cool. Like, it's like we went to Savannah on vacation, and my daughter, they were having this ghost tour. Like, you go around in a trolley, and one was a hearse, and you visit the cemetery. I was like, girl, please, no. She was like, my daughter, she's into scary stuff. And she was like, Mom, I was like, no. No, we are not going. Like, I'm not. Some folks, well, your daughter likes it, do it for her. No. No.
Ain't coming home with you. You don't know what you about to touch.
Girl, listen, I'll mess with them things. So I'm not gonna do it. I'm just like, like I said, you know what? Hey, we live in this world, and me being me, a lot of times, sometimes, hey, there are folks that don't like me, and that's okay. Like, I'm genuinely okay with you not liking me. Like I said, I bring it back to, as long as you are a good person, and I know that I'm a good person because first and foremost, God is the head of my life, and God leads me, and I'm intentional about being kind. So if I'm doing that, and I'm true to God, and I'm true to me, and I'm kind to folks, and you still don't like me, oh well. It's a nothing now.
Yeah, that's the word right there. This just flowed. This was none of my questions. This just flowed. I love this interview. Like, I love it. This is just so raw, and genuine. And I love you for being genuine and touching someone's life. Because I know you touched me, but I know that people listening that may struggle with being themselves, I hope that this help push them a little bit further to feel comfortable with being comfortable with them. I'm gonna follow up with our signature question. I am gonna do that.
Yes, I will stop talking so you can do it. You know what though? I absolutely love this format. Thank you so much for inviting me on the show. I'm loving it. Be your own kind. I am passionate about that. I am intentional about that. And anyone listening, I'm gonna give her a chance to talk because I did say I was gonna, so I don't want to be a liar. If anyone's listening and you're struggling, I just want you to know who you are is enough. God created you this way because he wanted you this way. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. Even if it's a family member, a mother, a father, a brother, a sister, a spouse saying to you, you're not good enough. Don't believe them. You are good enough. Be intentional every day. Take little steps in just building your confidence and your self-esteem. Spend time with yourself. Start repeating affirmations. I like me. I am worthy. I deserve love. I deserve peace. Repeat those over and over if you have to until you truly start believing it. Okay, Renata, go.
No, but I love what you just said because I do that. I have across my computer here, everything attached to me wins. I have divine discipline. Everything I need to do, I will do. I'm expecting the next great thing to happen. These are things I say every day. And so Suzanne is totally right. Those affirmations, it brings life. It breathes life into your situation. So I do agree to take that serious because that actually works. Yeah, and so thank you for sharing that knowledge with us. Our signature question is, if you could describe yourself in one word, what would it be and why?
Holy moly, one word. Okay. You might have found the one thing that would trip me up because I am not known for being short. Okay. Intentional. I'm intentional because I think that God was intentional when he created me. And maybe when I was a kid, I didn't quite understand why he made me so different. So now I'm intentional to live every day as if it's a gift, to be a blessing to others, to appreciate my life, and to just live in abundance and gratitude. Intentional.
I love that. Your energy is everything, Suzanne. I was just like, it's just shining through my screen. Like, I love everything about this interview. We didn't even get into your podcast or your book, but is there anything upcoming about your brand that you want to share?
Hey, quick 5 seconds. I know. Listen, I love this. I've done scripted interviews. I really love the ones that flow. So I'm Positively Suzanne. Please go ahead and follow me on social media, Facebook, YouTube. I'm not on it as much as I should. And Instagram, please go ahead. I'm also on LinkedIn as Suzanne Graham Anderson. I am an author. My book is on Amazon. That's the easiest way to get it. It's called Detoxifying Leadership. And it's just a quick read about my experiences with toxic leaders. I have a tea party coming up again. I hosted one. I have another one coming up in September. I'm actually going to be a speaker at a conference in Detroit in September. So follow me and you'll get information about that. For anyone in the Detroit area, please follow up with that. And I'm working on a couple of things, so I will post that soon. But follow me, Positively Suzanne, on social media, and you'll get up to date on everything.
Awesome. I was born in Detroit.
Ooh,
I don't remember nothing about it though. I was born in Detroit, raised in Chicago. That's all I can say.
That's it.
I don't know what to say. Bounce off the subject. But yeah, make sure that you follow Suzanne. While we're talking, her Instagram and her your Instagram and your email is appearing. So make sure that you follow her and stay up to date with her and her positiveness. And you also are a business consultant, so you help mom and pop stores as well, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness, I do. Girl, you did your research. I'm like, yeah. So actually, and I have a podcast, Sit Down With Suzanne. It's also available in all the podcasts and directories. So I am a life coach and an empowerment coach. So I do take personal clients. I'm all set for the month of July, by the way. So, and I do business consultation. I really try to help small businesses, because there's certain things that, they might not know, and certain resources they might not know that's out there. So I really try to help protect them so that they could be the best they could be. So everything I do is centered on just helping folks be the best. We can all shine.
I love that. It's enough out here for all of us.
All of us. We can shine together.
Yes, most definitely. Anything else you'd like to add before we close?
No, sis, I am so proud of you, for doing your thing. I appreciate you inviting me on the podcast and just giving me an opportunity to share who I am, and just being so genuine throughout the interview. It flowed, and folks would think we've been friends for a long time. So I love seeing folks just living their best lives and just living out loud. And I love that for you and about you. And I'm definitely a fan, and will be keeping up to date on what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Oh, same here. I always tell people, I don't just interview you and just like disappear. No, I'm going to be following you, and sometimes in your inbox, how you doing? That's just the type of person I am. Because I feel like everybody that I've interviewed, I have come back wiser, and I feel like anyone that has listened to this have had a nugget that has applied to their life. So I always like to make sure I keep up with you guys, because you're on my platform, but you're taking out the time to share some nuggets and shine some light on somebody's life. And that's important. That's very important. Time is something we can never get back. So anyone that takes out their time to be on my platform means volumes. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. So listeners, I hope that she has shined some light in your life. I know that she has. I'm just going to say that. And so next time, don't forget to be kind to yourselves. Be kind to yourselves, and to be kind to each other. And until next time, bye.